So my name is Zoltán Kászabó. I'm a senior Salesforce technical consultant. I work for IBM iX in Germany. For over 20 years, I've been working in different sales and operations positions, although my background is technical. And in 2012, the company I was working as a sales director made a strategic next generation application development platform selection. In one of the weekends, as a technically interested sales director, I was checking which application platform makes sense. So that was basically the time when I started to deal with Salesforce. And ever since, I'm still admired by the functionality of this platform. I'm always very much interested about the latest technical and technology companies who are coming. So at around that stage, 2012, I started to feel that Salesforce is going to fly high. It was absolutely not known, but you could just feel that this is so powerful, it's going to go. And I wanted to have more and more hands-on experience, and Salesforce was just ideal for me. The latest one was Service Cloud, and Service Cloud was really quite difficult for me. I'm not that much aware of the service-related business processes, business requirements, and also Service Cloud is quite a complex environment within Salesforce. I found Service Cloud probably is the most difficult for the time being. The level of configuration is huge, even compared with Sales Cloud, for example, in my opinion. That's number one. Then there are different new components like the chat environment, which was probably a newer set of components. Whenever it was possible, I tried to do testing in a developer org, in addition to Focus on Force. The special difficulty for me was the KPIs for the Service Cloud environment. Again, the domain knowledge of that one is not there. It has a focus in Focus on Force on that one. And also the certification was requiring this type of KPIs. That was something I did not feel that I have the confidence. Having enough certification, having enough work experience, and also your general background, I think these three together help you advance your career. Number one, Salesforce consultant is someone who can understand the customer's businesses and customers' business processes. Especially if you work for a large company, there are a lot of internal requirements that you must comply with. As a consultant, you always have to listen to the customer, and sometimes the customer, or if you have more customers, the different customers are coming with quite sudden requirements. You have to have the dialect and the negotiation and the communication with the customer. Nevertheless, you can never implement something during a call. So you always have to make a balance about collecting information, maintaining the customer relationship, and actually doing things. In my opinion, a Salesforce consultant must deliver working technical solutions. And depending on the actual customer situation, definitely the existing legacy environments where Salesforce has to be plugged in. And from the very first moment when you start workshops, basically, I think a Salesforce consultant must have a switch internally immediately to try to convert it to a technical solution. And then where you have your technical skills, how it is going to be mapped into Salesforce, how it's going to look like, how it's going to scale, how it is going to be mid or long-term maintainable, and later a bit how the existing customer user base is going to get used to it. So all this is together, it's pretty complex. And the good point with Salesforce is that the platform provides a high level of easy implementation. Basically, you can more focus on the customer dialects as a consultant, in my opinion. Absolutely. I think for any consultant, you just have to talk. I mean, even with all the technical support now as GPT is coming, maybe that one is even going to increase the importance of the human interface between two humans to talk, to understand. Maybe you understand something in this way, but 2 weeks later, you figure out that your understanding was not correct. Then you need to correct yourself in a very short time frame. Absolutely. And whenever I have a new Salesforce certification, actually, I'm using Focus on Force, and basically I'm exclusively using Focus on Force environments to prepare. I'm more sticky to the standard Salesforce certifications. There are now a huge number of certifications, but the ones which show towards the application architect and on the other side, the system architect, and I'm primarily focusing on the core platform and platform-related activities. I'm going for the data integration architect now. So if you want to achieve a certification, then try to achieve it in a limited time frame, maybe in 3 months. That also already assumes that you have some background in that related environments. That's the second. And the third is that don't cheat yourself. If you feel that something is not coming, you can come to a conclusion that this part is not going to be my strength during the certification. That's okay, but be aware of it. And on the other side, something that you feel is important, really try to spend the time to really understand, not just on the surface, but in depth, meaning also practice is always helpful.